morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Katie-O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another energy peephole for today, the 21st of November, 2021. I really like it. Numerology, 21, 11, 21. And if we look at the numerology of the difference between 21 and 11, that's 10. Yeah? You add 10 to 11, you get 21. 11 is alignment, 10 is completion. And then you reach this beautiful 21, which if you break 21 down, it comes to a 3, which is co-creation, creativity, manifestation, collaboration, beautiful energy, all right? Some people say two's a party, three's a crowd. Two's a, I can't remember what 2 is, but 3's a crowd, they say. 3's not a crowd. Maybe we once thought that it was, but no, my friends. Maybe 3 is bringing us to a crowd. Maybe some of us are becoming more visible to a larger group of people. Maybe some of us are looking to become part of a whole, a larger group. Maybe some of us are finding a new community or a new club or hobby or something that connects them to a group of people. But either way, I do feel that we have come into alignment, and now we just have to release our old values, release our misconceptions about collaboration, especially with regards to some of us don't like to not have the reins in our hand because we don't always know if we can trust other people to do things right. Yeah, we know that if we do it ourselves, either it'll be done to our liking, or if we screw up, at least we only have ourselves to blame. But that's no longer aligned with us anymore, and we need to release those ideas so that we can move forward. I also got the vision of a boomerang. So throw something away and it comes right back. Yeah, it might come flipping around and a little wonky and hard to sort of see what ends what. But if you throw it away, it should come back. If you throw it right, it should come back. Yeah. Some of you have already made this throw. Yeah. Some of you are being encouraged to do it. But either way, we need to trust that there is some separation that when done correctly, it will come back. And when I'm hearing about when done correctly is, yes, of course, there's a technique to throwing the boomerang. But that technique is I feel like there's aspects of it of we need to make a physical action in order to actually set this thing flying. But there's so many factors, the wind, is the bird going to fly out of the air, fly down out of the sky and grab it, whatever. There's other factors that will also influence the way that it flies. So very classic, if something's meant for you, you let it go and it will come back to you. I mean, my friends, we've talked about this before, is that what you are destined for will never pass you by, even if you need to throw it as hard as you can away from you. At some point, if it's meant to come back to you, it will. Yeah. And then, of course, you do have a choice, right? Do you try and catch it? Do you duck? Do you just let it fall? There's free will involved in all of this, right? You made the free will to throw. And you can make the free will to catch. But just be aware that depending, some of these things that you could throw could end up coming back to you, whether you want them to or not. But for some of you, you've thrown something away and external circumstances have just diverted the path and you might not see it. Yeah. For some of you, if you've not been doing your work properly, it's not going to be conducive for things to come back to you. So it may be a wake-up call for some of you today, the 21st, to complete something so that you can come into this alignment and co-create with the universe. All right, my friends, we have 5 aspects we're going to talk about today. The first of all, also I want to say that there's a lot of Jupiter and Mercury influence today, and I think that that's beautiful because our moon is in the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So I like Mercury's influence in all of this, as well as Jupiter is the sign of expansion, and Jupiter has been so prevalent lately. It's really, really been in our faces about this like growth and expansion and luck and serendipity and all of that. So these are themes that are coming in quite strongly for today. I'm sorry about the light. I know it keeps on trying to adjust because it's actually bright outside for the first time in ages. All right, the moon in Gemini is squaring Neptune. So dreams and visions are challenging us to look at the polarity of ourselves, both sides of a coin, the light and the dark, the masculine, the feminine, whatever you need to look at it as. is there is some sort of polarity that is causing us an emotional response. And we need to sort of tap into some more sort of ethereal things to find it out, whether it be our dreams or meditation, visions. Maybe for some of you, it's tarot readings. Either way, there are messages coming through in a nonverbal sense, that we are being encouraged very, very strongly to look at polarity of things. I had some really weird dreams lately, and it was always like, it was similar to situations. It's been similar to situations that I've actually experienced in day-to-day life, but there was something that was totally different about them. And I found that really interesting, that it's like, it has unrolled this way, but what maybe would it have looked like if it would have been a different energy, or if I hadn't been as thinking on my feet and Geminian as I am, with my Gemini moon, or even just accepting the energies of Gemini with the moon. Yeah, the moon is also trining Jupiter. So Jupiter has been very present lately, and it's encouraging us to continue expanding ourselves through connection to our inner poles. Yeah. So again, the moon in Gemini is saying, hey, look at the dark and the light, look at the masculine, feminine, look at the ease and the frustration, look at whatever. Things in your life are presenting to you two sides of a coin, and those poles are really, 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 really important in this next phase of this evolution, this expansion, this growth that you're going through. Usually when the moon goes into Gemini, we do see things we look at the black and the white of things, or we look at the opposite sides of things. We weigh out the options. And we remember that in Gemini, we are very quick-witted and intellectual. So our moon is having a little dose of Mercurian energy, which brings our subconscious and our emotional bodies into a very mind-centered, intellectual, witty and quick, adaptive. That's the word I was looking for, not innovative, adaptive kind of a sense. Okay, Mercury is also squaring Jupiter, so here we go. This expansion requires us to use our heads and our mouths, okay? Some of you guys do this wonderful thing where you have all these beautiful thoughts and you forget that you've never verbalized them to anyone. You literally forget, oh my God, I've never said this out loud, especially in the day of information, and hey, Mercury present here. In the day of information, we often are chatting, we're like messaging each other, writing stuff, which is great, but you might have been talking about a situation with somebody quite frequently over text. But then you might realize, oh my God, I've never actually put it into words. I've never actually said it out loud. I actually had a situation like that recently as well, to put a little bit of context to it. Is, I've recently started cultivating new relationships in my life, which are really, really lovely. And I've been discussing parts of them with certain friends of mine that we discuss mostly online with, especially because the weather's been really bad and I haven't even really been seeing some of my friends. The rain has been going on. But I had a conversation. I've had a friend over for dinner and we had a conversation. It was like, wow, I don't even think I've actually said these words out loud to anybody. Like, I've not actually physically verbalized them. And it was really liberating. Okay. So especially with the square and this Jupiter and Mercury, is this like communication is going to be liberating for you. Don't just think about changes and growth. Express it too. Articulate it. Say words. Use this thing here. It's not on your face just to eat, which, hey, we love eating too. But use this thing, okay? Squares in here too, though. Okay, so yes, Jupiter is challenging us to use our mouth, even maybe sometimes when we're not so comfortable communicating stuff. But this could be difficult for us. It could be very difficult for us in a lot of ways, and it could pose challenges on multiple levels. Okay, so it could pose a challenge. And again, we've got this Geminian energy here, and Mercury is the planet that rules Gemini. So I do feel like Gemini, Virgo, these energies do come into play when we have Mercury in stance. So maybe for some of you, it's a very double-sided sword, is that, you need to, one, challenge yourself and do something that you're out of your comfort zone in terms of physically verbalizing something that you desire, need, think about, whatever, or experiencing. And also this thing could be challenging to others. So for example, if you are having a lot of success at work and a lot of your friends are struggling in the same field, it might feel hard for you to talk about all of your successes, knowing that your friends are suffering in the same field. Yeah. But I'm hearing that it's important that you express those, because not only does it help your expansion, it helps you sort of integrate and bring into true sort of grounded sense these changes for yourself, but it can help them start thinking about thinking about what they could change. It could help them almost not in a comparative sense, but in a, I see the way this person's reacted to similar situations as me, and they've gotten successes. How do I look at what I've done and see the differences and maybe relate their successes and my maybe challenges to find some sort of a middle ground and create a method that's right for me? And this could be vice versa too. This could be friends of yours coming to you to discuss things. All right, so we have Mercury in a sextile with Pluto. I'm feeling these articulations are definitely with the goal of transforming something that aids in our healing journey. But with the Pluto energy, this could be something that's kind of under the surface. This could be something that's really dark. It could be something that's very far away. You know, you could be discussing, long-term goals with somebody. You could be discussing something like moving to a very far off place. You could be discussing, especially with Mercury. Mercury can indicate travel, but intellect, communication, relationships, these kinds of things. So some of you are transforming a lot of your Mercurian energy lately so you can heal. So what you think about yourself, the way you communicate to yourself, the way you communicate to others, the way you use technology, the way you travel, the way you move around in the world, the way you exchange energy with the people in your life, whether it be a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship or a business relationship, it doesn't matter. Mercury is all about exchange of energy, and this can be in many forms. All right. Last but not least, we have the moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So we are one with our shadows. Yeah, we are one with our shadows. Our subconscious and emotional integration of old shame, things that we might have been misjudged for. We're understanding how how important those things are to allow us to reach emotional stability and for connections to deepen with parts of ourselves. Yeah. And in turn with others, right? When we have a healthy emotional and subconscious state, then we find it a lot easier to deal with others. So some of you were beating the shit out of yourself for something. Yeah. Some people may have misunderstood parts of you. And you may have given yourself a hard time about all that stuff. But you're understanding how, you're really seeing how understanding those situations and understanding the dynamics of those situations, for example, your vision of yourself versus the vision of the other people that were involved in the situation that led to this discourse, that led to this disharmony, that led to this judgment energy. Understanding all of those things can help us debunk it so that we can understand, hey, this is nothing to be ashamed of for the most part. Because if you know the story of Lilith, I've talked about her a lot. I identify very strongly with the feminine energy of Lilith. Is that she was the original counterpart to Adam, made of the same things. She wasn't equal to Adam. And when Adam tried to tell her what to do and squash her down, she said, hey, you and I are the same, that you have no right to do that. And if you do insist on making this unpleasant and trying to exert right where you have none, I'm just going to remove myself from the situation. And she was therefore ostracized because she stood true to her form and said, no, just because you don't like it doesn't mean I'm going to fall at your feet. Because just because you don't like it doesn't mean that I don't like it. And unfortunately, I'm more important than you in my world. Okay, in my world, not in general. Nobody is more important than the other. They are the same, right? They are cut from the same cloth. They were made the same. Lilith was willing to work with these energies, but unfortunately, Adam didn't see the same way, and God got on his side. So there's discourse here where you've been misjudged. You've been ridiculed. You've been squashed. You've been thrown aside. But those things are nothing to be ashamed of. Lilith had never any, and she was so strong in her convictions and knew so much that her following her own path of wellness and exaltation and authenticity was more important than pleasing someone else to make her life easier. She got condemned to eternity eating babies, okay? Do you think she probably wanted to do that? No, but she thought that it was more important to stand true to her values and take whatever consequences were dished out to her. So she knew that there was nothing to be ashamed of about what she did. Did she choose a difficult existence? Yes, absolutely. But she did it because it was true to her values. And I think that's very important for a lot of you, because we've had this theme come up over and over again, is staying true to your values, even if it challenges people around you. Okay, I got some new decks and I'm super excited. This deck, oh my god, I've been eyeing this deck since about June. I saw it on June or July. I saw it on Asotero's channel, and she doesn't use it very often, but oh my god, this deck is so beautiful. It's called the Cosmic Visions Tarot. Look at this, first of all. Oh my god, and it's like these thick black cards, and they're silky and beautiful, and all of the imagery is like black and white with this gorgeous rainbow. They're like little sketches, and they've just got rainbow things. It's a little bit sexual, but it's mostly just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to pull you a card of the day for today, the 21st, to see what energies we are dealing with. What is the card of the day today, please? Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. Talk about a polaristic energy. Look at this. We've got this fox, but this fox has two faces. A fox is sly and cunning. A fox is witty. A fox can get itself out of different situations. But maybe this fox has forgotten that embedded in its heart space is this. It's a cross, but I'm taking it as a symbol of higher connection to a higher power, of identification with a higher power. Maybe we need to understand the dualistic nature of this in order to understand how our heart space is connected to a higher power. We've got the sun over here, and it's sitting in front of a rainbow moon. Okay, so we are coming into great alignment with our subconscious and emotional energies, but it requires a certain amount of duality, a certain amount of slyness, a certain amount of cunning to see both sides of these coins. And sometimes, yes, we're going to have to deal with unfair energies, sneaky energies, greedy energies, ones that want to try and grab all the swords that they possibly can, even though they might cut themselves. This is beautiful. Let's see what's on the underside of the deck here. What's under the deck? Three of Swords. Okay, yeah. Black Moon Lilith vibes, as we've had a lot of pain and heartache. Look at that. Oh my god, these cards are absolutely so sexy. I love them. Look at that. She's got her eyes shut, and she is understanding that her heart is still a part of her, even though it's broken sometimes, even though swords can come in and pierce it. It does allow certain it allows an emanation of both dark and light. I'm hearing that with regards to this particular card, with this rainbow, it's almost like I'm seeing the prism from the Pink Floyd album Dark Side of the Moon. It's like pure white light is actually a collection of all of the colors of the spectrum. So when you release some of these shadows, you also release a certain amount of multi-spectrum light. And yeah, you've shed your tears about it. Yeah, you've shed your tears about it. But this is alignment. I want to read the Seven of Swords for you. Seven of Swords reveal, deception, trickery. Seven of Swords reveals itself during times of betrayal and honesty. You may be trying to deceive someone with your secrets. It's you. By hiding or giving half-truths to others, you are opening yourself up to the possibility of being caught out. Ask yourself if it's really worth the trouble and consider the consequences that may arise from your deception. Alternatively, the Seven of Swords could also suggest that someone else is being dishonest with you. Someone you trust may have their own hidden agendas and will not be obvious to you at first glance. If you find yourself second-guessing someone's motives, focus your energy on your intuition and trust your gut feeling to unearth the truth. Okay, so some of you are dealing with deceptive energies on your exterior, but it's only because you hold these ones inside of you. Yeah, we're using the dualistic Gemini moon to understand our self-deception, to understand our Black Moon Lilith, and to come more exalted out the other side. Yeah. All right. Let's get a couple from the bag of tricks. Get a little advice for us for today, the 21st. Let's go with these two. Oh, I love these cards. They're so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, first we have Grace and Student. Okay. Some of you guys are being urged to learn something new and to accept that with grace. Sometimes when we go through a lot of stuff, we get to the point where we're like, I've learned enough. I don't don't want to put myself back at the bottom of a totem pole. I don't want to feel like a noob anymore. This learning is very important for your book. Okay, some of you are writing a book. Some of you, this is just the book of your life. Accept this with grace because it's going to bring in beautiful blossoms. It reminds me of the Ace of Wands from the Mystical Moments Tarot, where she opens a book and this giant flower grows out of it. It's gorgeous. Feed your soul and control. Okay, some of you guys need to some of you guys have to be very discerning about what you're putting into your body. And this is in general. It could be food. It could be substances. It could be information or technology. Some of you guys have to use your discernment very, very, very much because you are so rigid about your way of thinking that you are not actually feeding your soul with the content that you're consuming. Okay, a lot of you guys, this is telling you to be careful of misinformation. Use your discernment, use your heart to see. Some of you are subscribing to old ideals still that will do nothing but cause you heartbreak if you continue to lie to yourself. Okay? Lying to yourself. And I know, again, this is a very easily misinterpreted message just in and of itself, because some of you are going, oh, she's telling me not to get a vaccine. I'm just going to leave that there. No. I'm calling you to do what you see as right and to feed your intuition, but just know that there are some things that you should be consuming to nourish your soul and some things that you think are helping you that are not. They are not. Some of you need to disconnect from the information world. You need to stop reading the news. You need to stop buying into every article you read that affirms your own personal opinion about something, because that opinion I'm hearing may not be so well fueled. Anyhow, overthinking and be supportive. Okay, some of you guys want to support yourself, but you constantly get in your own way. Okay, these Mercurian energies are being called to be transformed. Okay, so stop getting in your own way. Be supportive. Some of you also, your opinions are so strong that they ostracize people. They mislead people. Some of you are spiritual healers or teachers, and people who are vulnerable come to you and ask you for advice. And when they're vulnerable, you have a responsibility to do what is right for the greater good, not what is right for fitting your ego. So be very careful about this very busy mind that's getting in your way. You need to support yourself, you need to support others, but you need to do so with integrity. All right? Abundance and meditate. Some of you guys are looking for your Ace of Pentacles, but you are not listening to your inner voice. You are posing resistances with this little sign, but where you should be coming into union with yourself. You want the abundance, you want that Ace of Pentacles. Go within. Quiet the silly voices. Listen to your own inner voice and see what there is under the surface. Okay, my friends, that is it for me. I wish you a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Also, yeah, I know some of you guys are not going to like that message that I spoke of, but you know what? I'm not into not delivering the messages that get brought to me, and some of you are looking at me and going, oh, you're judging other people, but look at you. You're not even thinking about your own stance on this thing. Trust me, I have. I have considered every side of every coin. My job, my muggle job, has to do with discerning misinformation from information. I have done so much reading, and let me tell you, if I would not make these statements if I didn't think they were necessary to say, and it was about time that people started saying them more firmly and not being afraid of how people will judge them for it. And if I lose some subscribers or followers, so be it. I'll see you when you wake up. I hate using that word, to wake up. I'll see you when you want to see me. Let's go for that. All right. I reiterate. I go back on my words. I'll see you when you want to see me. Okay. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm so sorry for anything you're going through. If I've made you feel a certain way, thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to this circuit. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, the angels, whatever other energy had us finding these beautiful, clear, concise messages for our greatest good, whenever we may find them, whether it be today, tomorrow, or in the near or distant future. These readings are timeless, and if you're here listening to me, it's because there's something you needed to hear, even if you didn't like it. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back. And I accept this. And I hope you do too. But if not, it's okay. It's your prerogative. Also, I want to thank Dream Magician Tarot over in Bangkok, Miss Lovely Peephole. Ploy is a wonderful lady, and she does a lot of hard work to bring very special tarot decks into Thailand. I want to thank also Cosmic Visions. These guys are freaking wonderful, and I absolutely adore this deck, and I hope they make more soon because I would love to have an Oracle deck. And thank you to all of you yet again. You're wonderful. I'll catch you soon. Bye. Mwah.